I think we're ready to go. vk3sl. Test missions on 160 metres in the narrowband FM mode. Welcome to the late afternoon session. Another miserable day, but I've just come back from a walk and I'm feeling quite refreshed actually. So, yeah, what news? No news. It's just work, boredom. But we have a playlist to reinvigorate people and to provide an antidote to the corona mantle. It's strange. It just rolls on, doesn't it? This whole business, this lockdown thinger. Well, we have to find antidotes. We have to find creative ways around these crazy happenings. And so this is my small way. Anyhow, if you're uninformed, these are Corona Missions, late afternoon, not show, but program material. And if you're listening online, these are if you're listening on air, these are tone tests to validate volume and clarity, as they say. I got that from Mr. Stewart. It's a very good way to qualify the on-air dimension. And then we have the online side of things, which is definitely there for entertainment. In fact, it's very fi. If you listen online, you'll hear it in all its glory, all its fi glory. And there is a YouTube channel devoted to just these missions, and there's a log of all the last 6 months. No, how many months? March. Quite a few. We've been going every day since March. So there's a log of all our programs since the first lockdown, including our late night Friday missions as well, which have been going for over 2 years. That's a long-standing tradition. And so, yeah, there we go. That's where it all happens, online and on air. And I should mention that there is a blog spot. There's one go-to place. If you want to find anything about this station, about this madness, this pathology, this self-delusion, this pathetic state of affairs, just look up mycallsign.blogspot.com. And it's all there, vk3sl.blogspot.com. And then, yes, all will be revealed. Yes, it's even got the psychiatrist report there. So what do we have? What do we have on the table? A 78 on the table. This one's got a date on it. I've got a date in the sense that it's a date when I bought this or picked this record up. It was picked up in 1988. So I would have been 20 in 1988, I think. Something like that. So this would be fairly late in my collecting, so I sort of stopped around then and didn't do much until recently, till I had my midlife crisis. That's what happened. Anyhow, it's a recording of Benny Goodman and his band, and I think it's his sextet, and an old chestnut ain't misbehaving. vk3sl, and I wish it was misbehaving. Benny Goodman and the Sextet and Ain't Misbehaving on an old Columbia. vk3sl test missions on 160, and we're sampling the collection here. It's pulling records off the shelf, and it's a very serendipitous random collection of mostly rubbish, to be honest, but, well, it depends how you look at it. It's not really rubbish, but someone is going to have to store all this stuff one day. I've got to find an out down the track. It always is. It's the problem besets every collector, is the disposal issue. But my philosophy is if it's tidy and sorted and neat, it's much easier for it to be responsibly passed on. So the records that have significance and have meaning will go into one area so they can go to the right people who can preserve them for provenance. And the majority of this collection, which is just reissues, well, I don't know, maybe just have a free-for-all out the front of the yard. Yeah, it's a long way off. Not anticipating anything. Just ruminating. What have we got? Turntable 2, Fat Swaller. This is from the same shelf. And it's Georgia May on an old Regal Sonophone. vk3sl, testing authentically.
If our sweetness makes you lose your speech, hear them sing what a peach. Right away I'll safely say, it's Georgia May. If you see the men all closing shop, the crowd defies the traffic cop. Just one cause for breaking laws, that's Georgia May. In all beauty shows, that girl's the feature. Everybody knows that she's one gorgeous creature. If you want to play with dynamite, if you want to lose your heart on sight, here's your chance. One glance at Georgia May. Does she make men stare and women frown? She can lay this handbook down. You can't deny the reason why it's Georgia May. All the gigolos fall in her clutches. In her clothes she walks and looks just like a duchess. If she made you give up everything, made you buy a wedding ring, in a bed you have man, it's Georgia May. Yes, well,
all right, indeed. It was Mr. Waller, Fat Swaller in his glory. He's certainly got the vibe. It's lifted spirits up. Well, what else? On table 1, we've got an Ambrose record, actually. Yeah, it's funny ruminating about collections and stuff and hoarding and what it all means. I think the most important thing with this subject is that there's a responsibility to enjoy it and to share it, really. So that's my latest thing is, making the most of it, enjoying these records, and there's a lot here, and they deserve to be played. They deserve to be heard beyond these walls, really. And there's not a lot of forums to do that these days. So here we go. There's an excuse. And also, yes, there has been an existential pang. I have to say, it's really quite sad, and I am serious now, that a member of the broader family, had a relative, well, it's not sort of a blood relative, but it's someone we know very well, passed away yesterday, very sad. And that person was only in their 50s. So the big C, unfortunately, took another life. And when it's someone you knew really well, sort of puts things into perspective. And you suddenly think, how long have I got? What does it all mean? What's the purpose of all this stuff? Well, I think I think to sort of see it all as some sort of theatrical experience and a means to, to indulge, to entertain, to feel, feel like you can experience the collection is an important choice. All right, enough rambling. That's my philosophical musing for the day. We'll have a listen now to Ambrose and the orchestra and a track called Toy Trumpet. This is vk3sl. Ambrose and the orchestra with a track called Toy Trumpet. And I'm not sure when that was recorded. Looks like it might have been the late 1930s. And reminds me that Mr. Dello has put up on YT quite an interesting Ambrose rarity today. Just today it went up and I had to listen to it on my walk. And it's worth a play. It's such a slick arrangement, as was the last one actually. I think Ambrose's band was particularly noteworthy for its outstanding musicianship, really amazing. So, we'll have a look and see who's on. I think this one's got Mr. Ganella on trumpet, does it? Let me have a look. I've got the playlist here. Oh, it's Brutsnick Ganella, different Ganella. And but interestingly, this track actually features Freddie Gardner with Ambrose. I think he sat in on this one session, so it's rather significant in that regard. It's a recording made in 1936, and it's from one of those Fred Astaire films. I can't remember which one, but it is Let Yourself Go. Let's have a listen and just marvel in the wonderful, wonderful orchestration and the performance. It is so high level. It's amazing stuff. Cheers.
As you listen to the band, don't you get a bubble? As you listen to them play, don't you get a glow? If you step out on the floor, you'll forget your trouble. If you go into your dance, you'll forget your woe. Come, get together, let the dance floor feel your leather. Step as lightly as a feather, let yourself go. Come, hit the timber, loosen up and start to limber. Can't you hear that hot marimba? Let yourself go. Let yourself go, relax and let yourself go. Relax, you've got yourself tied up in a knot. The night is cold, but the music's hot, so come, cuddle closer. Don't you dare to answer no, sir. Put your bacon, lock and grocer, let yourself go.
I was jiving, missed the end. That is slick music. Freddie Gardner. And with Ambrose and his orchestra. And Let Yourself Go. I can't remember which Fred Astaire film that's from. Maybe it's a film by the same name. Anyhow, I received an email today from Mr. Fleming, who listens to these missions, and he mentioned this next track, which I'm keen to have a listen to. It's The Three Orphan Kittens, Don Wilson with Billy May and his orchestra. I think John has a personal anecdote about this. I think it's a childhood memory. But these are great, these discs. In fact, I've got a shelf of kids' records here. Maybe we should have a kiddies segment and play some of these. They are very much in the style of our missions happenings here, so they fit the gap beautifully. Made for Capital. What else can I tell you? Don Wilson, Billy May, and we'll have a listen to The Three Orphan Kittens. Thanks, John.
Once upon a time in the middle of winter, 3 little kittens were left alone in the cold and snow with no home and no place to go. One little kitten was black.
Wow, I'm cold.
One was brown.
Wow, me too.
And the third little kitten was gray.
Wow, I'm cold too, but I see a house and the basement window is open. Come on, let's go inside where it's warm.
So all 3 of the little kittens ran in the basement window and right up into the house. The house was nice and warm, and they felt so good, they began to sing.
1, 2, 3, 3 little kittens are we. I'm black, I'm brown, I'm gray. We are as happy as we can be. Oh boy, hurrah, hooray. Now there is one thing that we like to do, and that is to play till the day is through. We get into trouble when we're alone, especially when there is no one at home. 1, 2, 3, 3 little kittens are we. I'm black, I'm brown, I'm gray. We are as happy as we can be. Oh boy, hurrah, hooray!
kittens had a fine time because there was no one around to bother them. The lady and her little girl who lived there were upstairs, so the kittens had the whole downstairs to themselves. And as you can imagine, they were likely to get themselves in trouble. First, they went in the kitchen, and there the black kitten jumped up on the kitchen table and jumped right into the middle of a blackberry pie. The brown kitten stuck his nose in an empty milk bottle. And the gray kitten knocked over a box of pepper, which made him sneeze. And then all three of them jumped up on the sink and knocked over a whole pile of dishes. What a terrible mess. Well, after making a mess of the kitchen, the three kittens ran into the living room, and there they saw a piano. While the other two watched, the black kitten jumped up on the keys and started to walk on them. Then he ran all the way back across the keys. But what the little black kitten didn't know was that this was a player piano, a piano that could play by itself. It worked by electricity, and all you had to do was push the button, and off it would go. And that's just what the little black kitten did. He stepped on the electric button. And before he could get out of the way, the piano started to play, and the keys went up and down and bounced him all over the whole keyboard. And then, while he was being bounced up and down by the piano keys, the little black kitten accidentally pushed a button that said faster, and the piano played just as fast as it could. That little black kitten was certainly glad when the piano had finished, and he jumped right down on the floor to join the others. But the kittens had made so much noise they had been heard upstairs.
Who is that down there? Who's making all that noise?
Run quick! Somebody's coming!
Oh, it's you kittens. How did you ever get in the house? Just look at the mess you've made. All right, outside, all three of you.
Oh, no, Mother, please, they're so cute. If you'll just let me keep them, I'll promise to see that they don't get into any more trouble.
Well, the little girl's mother let her keep the kittens. She made sure they didn't get into any mischief. And, of course, the kittens were happy because they had a nice, warm home and could play and sing as much as they wanted. And they did.
1, 2, 3, 3 little kittens are we. I'm black, I'm brown, I'm gray. We are as happy as we can be. Oh, boy, hurrah, hooray!
It's got me going. I'm in pianola mode. I've been going through the rolls. I was looking for the dancing kitten or something, but I couldn't find that. But what I will do is I'll fire up this other microphone, and this is all very easy now. All I have to do is push a little button here. This is the remote mic, the Rode, and I'll find the transmitter, which is up on the wall here. You have to give that a little nudge, and I had to patch it. I just realised I have been teaching, so I have to use the alternative arrangement here, but that's not too hard. I patch that in there, just with the XLR into the matching box to bring it back down to minus 10 dB and unbalanced. And then I can put this on my top. There we go. And we'll see if the other microphone works. Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. That's the remote mic. I can walk around, but I have to be careful if I'm going for a walk into the pianola zone that I don't have the levels too high. I'll let the limiter do its work, keep the levels down. And is that right? Oh, where's the mic? There it is. Maybe I'll put it on my skivvy. There we go. That's better. I can go for a walk now. I can take my headphones off and stroll down to the transmitter hall. Excuse the noise of all the fans. And we shall move into the zone. What have we got? Lots of pianola rolls to choose from. There's piles of them here. They're just so many. Oh, golly gosh, hundreds, and there's boxes more. What's a good one? I wonder how I look when I'm asleep. Well, I don't think I really want to know what I look like when I'm asleep, but maybe the pianola has got something to say about that. It's a bit more interesting. It's a master touch roll. I'm going to put it onto the lower spool, and not quite as elegant as the kittens on the keys, but we gradually have to set this up. Who's the pianist? Can't read the name. It's a signature. Pete Wendling. It's an old master touch. Tempo 70-80. I think we'll go for 130. Get a bit of tempo vibe going. All right, wait for it, folks. Here we go. Mistracking. Sorry about this, folks. A bit of a push over here. Sorry about that. it's running out of oomph. So is the pedal. That's what happens. Yes, I'm afraid the bellows in this are a bit tight. I can hear leaks. And but yes, and we had a bit of a missed track experience in the middle. Hope that wasn't too overtly distorted. Maybe I did have the levels a bit high. Sorry if you have bleeding ears following that pianola escapade. As you can see, I'm just meandering along here, playing for time. I should probably be doing other things. What else? We do have some OTR. And I might switch the other microphone back on now. There we go. Back onto the main microphonics. And we'll pack up the remote mic in a minute. And I really ought to go and wake up the mouse first. And then head off inside. Interesting. Are we still transmitting? Looks like the SDR's frozen up. Only lasts an hour. And then I dialed up the other one. I do monitor off an SDR because I'm always keen to know how it's going. Getting out, so we've got the quad in SDR. I'll give it another kick. But I have a feeling we're in timeout mode. Are we? No, not yet. It just stopped for some reason. Okay, we can live with that. So, what do we have from the Crossband archive? Another CIB episode with Mr. Strong and the Crawford Mob. It's a recording, or it's a CIB episode called The Men That Liked Music. Sounds interesting, and it could be good. Who knows? Let's have a listen. This is vk3sl. Testing.
CIB. From Australian police records come these true stories of day and night vigilance that protects our lives and our property, of prevention and detection in the unceasing war against crime. CIB. From Northern Australia, the true story of the men who liked music. This is a true story from Australian police records. Only names, place names, and dates have been altered. The story of a crime of violence is always a story of abnormality. Men or women who commit crimes of violence are human beings with a twist. But sometimes the twist assumes fantastic, almost incredible proportions. And so it was with the story of the men who liked music. A story that began one breathless evening in the wet season in a small town in northern Australia. Two young men aged 19 and 20 were in the local music shop playing classical recordings.
Thank you, Mrs. Bemrose. Thank you so much.
Oh, 'tis nothing. I'm glad you boys enjoyed it.
Yeah. Thank you. It is so good to come here to the Harmony House and hear of the good music.
Oh, hear good music, Leon. Not hear of the good music. You must work to learn English. Yes, both of you. Then you'd make more friends and not be so lonely, huh?
Yes. But it is so good to have you and Mr. Bemrose for friends. You are kind. You do not forbid.
Forbid? Forbid what?
Forbid to place the records, Leon means. We do not buy, only we listen, huh?
Oh, come now. That doesn't matter. Herman and I, we are fond of good music, too. It's nice to be able to play it instead of the jazz. Come as often as you wish. You are welcome in this shop always.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Soon you boys will be much happier here, much happier. You will learn to speak good English. You will get good jobs and settle down. Then you will come and buy records from us for your own gramophone, huh?
Yes, we hope it.
Now, unless you would like to play something else, would you like to come to the house and have a cup of good coffee? Herman is going to shut the shop now. Herman!
Yeah, what is it?
Are you ready now? Shall we go home?
Yeah, I'm coming.
I've asked the boys to have coffee with us.
Good. I'm coming.
No, please to excuse. Not tonight. Rudy and me, we go now. Please to excuse. Rudy.
Yeah, please. We must go. But tomorrow we come again, eh? Please?
Why, of course. So, you've met a couple of girls, huh?
No, it is not true.
Well, I did not wish to...
No matter, it's nothing. A joke. Now, good night, eh? Rudy, come.
Yeah, good night. Tomorrow.
Good night, Rudy. Good night, Leon. Well...
Now I am ready. There are the boys, Frida.
They have gone.
Gone? Why?
Ah, poor lads. So lonely.
What is wrong?
Nothing. I joked to them about taking girls to the pictures, that is all. They thought I was teasing them. Ah, poor lads.
Poor lads? Well, maybe. But they are lucky. Lucky to have come to this country. Pity the ones at home who did not have the chance.
Yes. But they are nice boys. So gentle. So fond of good music.
Did you see the car?
Yes.
Where?
It went to the rank.
Do you know the man driving it?
No.
Are you sure?
Of course I am sure.
Good. That will be easier. What is wrong with you? Afraid?
No. Yes. Perhaps I am afraid.
It is this. You'll stay here always. Always.
Yes, Rudy, I know.
Then stop whining.
I'm not. Look. There it is. The car.
Yes.
It is a big, beautiful car. Eh?
Yes. It will go. Come on. Excuse, please.
Huh? Gosh, you gave me a start. I must have been dropping off.
Is taxi car, is this?
Yeah, I'm a taxi. Jerry Inglis. Everybody knows me. You want to go somewhere?
Please.
Okay, just what I'm here for. Hop in.
And my friend?
Sure, the more the merrier. Where do you want to go, sport?
Please?
Where to? Where are you going? Compre?
To meet with friend on the road. Belen Creek. You can go?
The Land Creek? Oh, sure, it's only 20 mile. I'll drive you to Melbourne if you got the tow.
Please?
Eh? Oh, never mind. You chaps don't speak it English too good, eh? Well, skip it. Go on, hop in. You both want to ride in the back?
I go and see back. My friend in front.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be a dirty old night if you ask me. Ah, there she goes. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised if she blew up a cockeyed bob. Listen, sport. When we get to Belen Creek, will I wait for you? Or do I come back to town? Me wait or come back?
Come back. We meet friend. We stay.
Okie doke, suits me fine. If I can get back before the pictures come out, I might pick up a couple more fares.
You back soon. Very soon. Before pictures. You hurry.
Been in Australia long, mate?
1 year I come. Long time.
Don't you worry. After 40 years, you'll get to like the place. You see. You'll be right. Hey, what about your cobber in the back? Is he a brand new Australian too? Your friend? Long time?
1 year and 1/2.
Cripes, he's an old timer. Well, never mind. You'll settle down. As soon as you learn the language good, you'll be apples. You know, it's a good country, really. Plenty of room for everybody and a chance to make a decent living. Nobody pushing you around. Oh, it's a bit tough for a start. Or it might seem like it. But you'll see.
Please, you stop.
Huh? Stop? Hey? Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, half a tick and I'll pull over the other side of the culvert. It'll... Hey! Hey, what are you doing?
Here, help me. Is he dead? Did he kill him?
I don't know. Help him. Get out.
He's not dead. He's not dead.
No. Make sure. Take his arms. I will take his legs.
Yes. Be quick. Into the bushes.
There. This will do.
Listen.
Listen to what?
It is a car coming. A truck.
There is no car.
Quick. We must go.
Perhaps he has money.
There is a car. There is. Oh, quick, Rudy. I beg you, be quick.
All right. Come.
This is a test transmission from vk3sl.
You drive now.
Yeah. Move over. Beautiful car, eh? A beautiful car. I know a man in Melbourne who will buy it. And then...
And then...
Home. No more of this wilderness. No more of these stupid savages. Music! Music! Music!
Yes, Mrs. Inglis. Yes, we'll certainly do that. I'll tell Sergeant Whittle as soon as he comes in. Surely, we'll do that. I wouldn't worry too much. There's probably some quite simple explanation. Yes. We'll certainly do that. Goodbye. Well, what were you going to tell me, Rod? Oh, hello, Sergeant. I didn't see you come in. It was Jerry Inglis's wife. Has he turned up then? No, I'm afraid he hasn't. Hasn't he, by Jove? Yeah, I'm beginning to get a bit worried about it myself. He's a nice chap, Jerry Inglis. He could have had a breakdown somewhere. Could have, I suppose. But it's getting on for 24 hours since he was sighted. He'd surely have got out to a phone by now. Yes, I suppose so. It's more likely he's had an accident. I'm inclined to think we'll have to do something about it, Rod. Sure, Sergeant. I've been thinking that myself. But where do we start? Look, I think I'd better run down and see Mrs. Inglis myself. It's just possible she knows something that she hasn't thought to tell us on the phone. I'll drop in at the taxi rank on my way back and see if the other drivers have found anything. Okay. What do you want me to do? Well, just for a starter, what about ringing the petrol stations down the road and see if anyone's sighted him? Right. Start from Garnetville Crossing and work back. Right, Sergeant. If nobody has spotted him down the road, well, I reckon it'll confine the area of the search a bit.
It's not far. You can go out of town in any other direction but south.
Okay, Rod. I'll see you later.
And so the search for the missing taxi and its driver began, with anxiety certainly, but with no anticipation of its tragic end. As Sergeant Whittle had foreseen, news of the car was picked up on the South Road. But in the meantime, the taximan's many friends, he was an extremely popular man in the little town, were searching the road and the side tracks themselves. And then, 36 hours after Jerry Inglis's disappearance, an ashen-faced searcher, who'd followed what he considered suspicious tire tracks into the roadside scrub, came racing back.
Quick, start her up. Jerry's down there.
What?
He's dead. He's been murdered.
Within minutes of the report of the finding of Jerry Inglis's body reaching the police, messages were on their way that spread a net across thousands of miles of the lonely north. Patrols in 3 states converged to check every southbound vehicle. The local police began methodically to gather together the first pieces of the grim jigsaw puzzle.
It was pretty obvious, really. Whoever did it probably shot him in the car, drove off the road, pulled the body out and dragged it into the scrub.
But why, Sergeant? The motive's got me beaten. And surely you couldn't have imagined he'd get away with it. This is a pretty hard part of the world to vanish in, particularly driving a big new car.
They always imagine they'll get away with it. He probably banked on reaching some big town down south before the body was discovered. If it had turned out that way, well, it mightn't have been such plain sailing for us.
No, I suppose not.
Oh, well, stop worrying your brains about it, lad. Here's the hotel and the petrol station. Pull over and we'll see if we can find that young chap you spoke to on the phone.
Okay.
Oh, good morning. Are you looking for someone?
You're Mr. Megan?
That's right.
Well, my name's Cade, Constable Cade. I was speaking to you on the phone yesterday.
Oh, that's right. Line was fair rotten. Could hardly hear a word you said. Something about that big new green car on Monday night.
Yes. You said you served a new green car with petrol.
Yeah, that's right. Filled her up.
Do you remember what time?
Too right. It was just after 10. I'd been helping in the bar and I come out just after we'd closed.
Did you notice who was driving?
Well, not specially. There was a couple of young chaps. A new Australians, I reckon. Couldn't hardly speak English.
A couple, you say?
That's right. A fair bloke and a dark bloke. Hardly more than kids. I wouldn't swear to it, but I think the dark bloke was driving.
You didn't know them?
No. I never seen them before in my life.
Did anybody else see them?
Well, I don't reckon so. It was pretty dark, you know.
Oh, thanks. Mind if I go in and use your phone?
Oh, why no? You're welcome.
Thanks. It's urgent.
Phew, it's hot.
Yes.
Want me to give you a spell on the wheel?
After. I want to stop here. There's a chance they called in here. It's nearly 600 miles from home, and it's the last place they'd be able to pick up petrol before the turn-off to the border.
You're the police that were on the phone, are you?
That's correct, Mrs. Taylor.
Well, you sure pick out a good day for travelling.
Not much choice, Mrs. Taylor, I'm afraid. It's about the green car.
Green, was it?
Well, wasn't it?
Oh, it could have been. I'm not much good on blue and green. It was a big posh car, but...
You're sure of that?
Of course I'm sure.
Who was in it, do you know?
A couple of young fellows. I don't know their names. A couple of riffos, I reckon. They didn't talk English too good.
I see. You don't know their names. But had you ever seen them before, Mrs. Taylor?
I sure I'd seen them before. They came through here hitchhiking about a year ago. Got dropped down at the gate. They were going to camp the night, but they got picked up by a truck.
What do they look like, Mrs. Taylor? Can you describe them?
One of them had fair hair, the other dark. Why? What have they done? What are you after them for?
Oh, just questioning. The car may have been stolen, but we don't know until we catch them up.
You won't have much chance of that. After I'd fixed them with petrol, they asked about the turn off to the border. Last time I saw them, they were driving like the wind, and that's a day ago.
Well, thanks very much, Mrs. Taylor. Mind if I use your phone?
You're welcome, if this sandstorm hasn't brought the line down.
And so it happened that later that afternoon, a uniformed constable of the Queensland Police Force went out along the thin ribbon of unsealed road that led out from the shabby little mining settlement of Mount Eleanor into the red, dusty heart of Australia. He drew into the scant shade of a clump of desert oaks and waited. Before long, the silence was broken by the hum of a high-powered car driven at speed from the west.
Here she comes. Well, here's hoping.
All right, pull over.
Well, a bit of a hurry, eh?
What do you want?
Queensland Police. Name's Hargraves. Who are you two?
Name? Me, George Vasily.
And your friend?
Him, he is Jan Vilanovich.
Oh, is that so, eh? Anything to identify yourselves?
No. Not speak English very good.
And you?
Not speak English very good.
But you can understand, eh?
Yes, a little.
Well, you listen carefully. This car answers the description of a car which was stolen. Understand? Stolen in the Northern Territory the day before yesterday. How do you account for being in it? Driving it? Well?
This morning, today, we are in the town.
Yes, go on.
We meet two men. They ask us, want to look at a good car? We say, yes. One man asks me, do you drive? I say, yes. He say, all right, you drive. My friend and me, we get in the front seat. One man put gun in my neck. He say, you drive. I drive.
That's true. That is true. A man put gun in back of my friend's neck.
Then what happened?
I drive. I drive along the road here. At creek, men say, stop. I stop. They get out. They say, keep driving.
I see. Well, then what happened?
I keep driving.
I see. Got any guns or other weapons on you? Or in the car?
No.
You mind if I search you? Well?
No.
That's better. You too, Mr. Vilanovich? Okay, nothing. Well, seeing you two have had a gun in the back of your necks, you won't mind coming back to Mount Eleanor Police Station with me while I make a few inquiries. Will you, eh?
This is a test transmission from vk3sl.
We'll come.
Yes. Yes, we come. Yes, it is better.
A few hours later, Constable Hargraves, still escorting the two men in the green car, met Detective Sergeant Hawksley of the Queensland CIB, and their questioning was continued in a car bound back to the town.
So you both lost your alien registration certificates, eh?
Yes.
And you still say this story about the men forcing you to drive the car at gunpoint is true, eh?
Yes, it is true.
But how do you account for this? We know the two men answering your descriptions bought petrol from a service station this morning. Petrol for this car. And there weren't any other men in the car then. How do you account for that?
See, men stand on corner and keep look on us. They say if we tell police, they shoot.
I see. Well, Mr. Vasily, I'll just leave this thought with you. 3 police are coming from the Northern Territory by aeroplane to examine this car. You understood when I told you that the owner of this car had been murdered, didn't you?
Yes, I understand.
You understand, too, that everything you've told us will be checked to see whether or not it is the truth? Everything?
Yes. Sergeant.
Yes?
It is true the police come from Northern Territory by aeroplane?
Yes, I shall be here this afternoon.
Today? They will be waiting for us?
That's right.
I think it is no good. Better I tell you the truth.
Much better.
Then I tell. I shot him, the man.
The driver of the car, Jerry English.
We do not know his name, but I shoot him.
I see. Very well. I'm going to ask you more questions, but I warn you, you're not obliged to answer or make any statements. Anything you say may be given in evidence. Do you understand?
I understand. I know. I tell the truth. I shoot driver with the rifle. We drag body on the road. We take car.
Why did you shoot him and take the car?
Me, my friend, we are unhappy here. We are white. We cannot play music, nothing we like. We take car, Sydney, Melbourne, we sell maybe. Then we go home.
What are your correct names?
I am Rudy Konitsky. He, Leon Lubovich.
Lubovich. Lubovich, can you hear back there?
Oh, I think he's gone to sleep, Sergeant.
Blood stains in the car, a piece of cord, blood-stained trousers and recovery of the rifle used by the killers, a dozen other items of evidence bore out their full confessions. They were tried and found guilty. In a statement from the dock, they both pleaded for another chance to become good Australians. They were sentenced to death, those music lovers, and the sentence was not commuted. Only names, place names, and dates were altered in this true story. It was dramatized from Australian police records by Edward Dorking. And now this is Roland Strong saying goodbye until the same time next week. There will be another true story in this series, which is produced in the studios of Hector Crawford Productions by Dorothy Crawford.
Not quite sure what being a music lover had to do with the with the tale. Pretty horrible story. Okay, well, I suppose they all are. That's the name of the game. Right, we've got a little bit of time before our past band expires. So I've got this second side of that record I played yesterday, The Echoes of Paris. Before doing that, I might mention that we had a special on the theremin yesterday. If you want to hear that, you can go back to the log. We played a couple of small docos describing the instrument and one great exponent of the theremin, Mr. Blanc, a young fellow who is doing amazing things for the theremin. He's got me all inspired. And I put out an advert in VK Ham asking for one of those J-Car theremin kits, hoping one might show up. You can still buy them new, but I'm a bit of a cheapskate. If I can find one cheap, I might try and modify it. There's quite a few people have succeeded modifying them and turning them into really good instruments, so that would be an interesting project. So I'm sort of in the theremin zone at the moment. I'm thinking, pondering about possibilities. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Watch this space. And Leon Theremin was a cellist, as was Mr. Blanc. So maybe I can transfer some of my playing non-skills to the theremin. It's a nice thought. But they do need to be heavily modified. So there's a fair bit to it. It might be a longer-term project, but I am intrigued. So there we go. That's the latest. And what we'll have now is more Echoes of Paris. This is George Fayer. We gave a bio of Mr. Fayer yesterday. He was a concert pianist, but he knew where the money was and became a cabaret artist in New York. and he was, I looked him up online, and he was still going right up until the early 2000s. He had a long life, and he was a highly regarded in his field. This record goes way back, actually. It's on a Vox record, and it was produced in 1953, apparently. All right, we'll have a listen to side 2 and Echoes of Paris with George Fayer, piano, and with rhythm accompaniment. And this is vk3sl testing. That happened all too soon. I'm not very good at multitasking. I was inside, I was getting organised, ready for dinner, and suddenly the record finished. I was enjoying it though. All right, well, I think I'll wind at this point because I don't want to be out here. I work out here and I recreate out here and I need a break. But I have enjoyed the program material. Let's have a go with our exit music. It's Handel. All we like sheep who wear masks.
All we like sheep